Welcome to Treknicity, a Star Trek podcast where we fire the Fruiton torpedoes and make ourselves go that-a-way. Or that-a-way. Or maybe that-a-way. I'm Lars.
I told you to script this. I'm Patrick, by the way. I told him to start scripting this shit so he wouldn't stumble so much, and oh my fuck, what did I do? Go ahead.
In this episode, we're discussing and reviewing the 8th episode of the 3rd and final season of Star Trek Picard entitled Surrender, where we'll discuss this continued stroll down memory alpha lane. After this, we have 2 short episodes away from the TNG reunion tour wrapping up and us moving onward boldly and oldly.
Can't get the fork into my jugular. Okay, let's just get started. I'm just gonna. Okay, so let's get into the synopsis before I do manage to unalive myself. So we start where we left off last week, wondering what Jack's power is, because we're going to find out this episode, aren't we? So Vadic takes a Titan. She starts shutting shit down, trapping crew members. Their guys are running around. She's dancing around to the sounds of death, which sounds pretty cool. So after the opening bumper, we catch Riker and Troy. They're still living through all of their bad memories and kind of starting to heal from the fact that Riker took off and did some death. Great scene. We then find out Vadic kind of gets motivated to call Jack up to the bridge, so she says, start getting over here or I'm going to start shooting people. He does, so Jack, to try to distract her, and because Picard wants to take control, tries to mind grab somebody, punch in his code, and gets caught because Vadic already knows about his powers that we're going to find out about this episode. So, of course, she then executes somebody, doing a really nice, tense scene before she pops and you probably know the name, but I don't remember. Either way. Riker and Troy are continuing on their trek through their emotions. We find out that one thing that messed with Riker was Troy was kind of squishing on his emotions. But then they get on to how much they hated their planet and their home. They wanted to go and do stuff and be in the world again. Because apparently that's the thing that happens. They get interrupted by Worf, who, of course, immediately starts being poetic towards Deanna and fun with the love triangle there. It's an awesome thing.
I completely, at that point, had forgotten that Deanna and Worf were an item for a short time on TNG.
They didn't let us forget, and they brought it back, and they made it awesomer.
No, that's right, yeah. Oof.
So Jack goes to the bridge and pulls out a thermal detonator. No. Well, that's kind of what... It's pretty much... was what we all saw.
Yeah, the shiny metal ball with the red light.
Of course, he goes up there. Yeah, of course, he goes up there to distract while they try to get data online. The problem is they got the little... they've still got that little lore problem that they got to take it with. So meanwhile... we get Troy, Riker, Worf, and Raffi on the strike. They find Picard's old body, where they apparently cut out all the Irmatic Syndrome stuff for some reason. I wonder if that's going to relate to Jack and the powers. We're going to find out about this episode. So, Data and Lore kind of get in. Did I think I messed... Really? Yeah, I completely left that part out. Okay. So they pull the partition between Data and Lore. Lore starts taunting and slowly taking over and takes all of Data's stuff and takes the projector of crap. I forgot her name because she only lasted most of a season.
Tasha Yar.
I couldn't remember her name, but I can remember where she's from. We're not going to go there. Takes the Sherlock Holmes stuff, takes a pack of cards, takes Spot. And Spot's the last one as Data goes away forever. Oh, nope. It was a trick.
Psych.
Because Data dumped all of his stuff into Lore and overrides Lore. Lore gives him a hug. Poof, no more Lore. And we get the real Data back, more or less. So he gets into his override. He gets into his override mode, really starts spouting off glorious lines. I don't have them written down, but that's because it's a 2-minute review that's already gone to 5 minutes. We find out the actual plan is he overrides everything. He overrides all the other things. Jack and Seven on the bridge they hit a button and shield goes up. They open the front of the bridge up to space. Vadic gets to say fucking solids before she's flung out, frozen, and explodes all over her own ship in a frozen, bloody mess. It is glorious.
I just have one question. Just one question. When she broke up like that, did she finally let it go?
We're not going there. Unless you want me to sing the whole damn song, and you know I can do it, so be afraid.
Be very afraid.
So Shaw walks over the bridge, tells Seven to go shoot the Shrike. They torpedo the shit out of it, take off. We get Geordi with new data, who apparently can use contractions and has a sense of humor and is more awesome than before. So then they all go into a conference, into a conference table, and we get the TNG reunion finally happens. All the OGs sit down talking. And they talk about the big bad evil guy plan, which is going to be Frontier Day. So and obviously there's some darkness around Jack, so we got to figure out. So Deanna sits down with Jack, and they go to the door and reach out for the door, and here's where we find it, and credits. Fuck you. I hate this show
seriously,
sometimes.
You're going to cram all that shit in the last 2 episodes? Of course you are.
Of course. And 50-50, we'll go 3/4 of the next episode before we even crack the mystery box. Because I watch, usually by the time we record this, I have time to watch several things covering the show and watch The Ready Room with Will Wheaton. The exclusive clip shows Deanna going to the door, opening it, looking in, and then taking off. So they're going to probably start with that, and we're still going to be, what's Deanna hiding? Oh no. And they're going to drag us along for the whole fucking episode, because that's what they do. But let's get to the talking points, because that hurt. That hurt my brain.
Yeah, and the thing is, you just get so upset because they're like, you just get to the end, you're like, oh man, are we gonna finally find out this episode? Like, if we find out now this episode, we have 2 episodes to kind of unpack it and get used to it and figure it all out and get all that stuff. No, they leave you hanging right at the end. Like,
because we got to keep our mystery box closed.
Yeah, man. Like,
Jack has been our mystery box for this whole damn season.
Yeah, like we've known like he's had this stuff for a few episodes now. So it's like, come on, man, come on. At least it didn't go down to 10 forward this time.
Yeah, this is true. They did not use the 10 forward set this time.
So let's.
They kept mystery box Jack going forever, and they're still going to keep doing it.
So let's go ahead and let's hit our talking points. We'll start with the top as you've got listed.
We already did the mystery box. We're bitching, so we'll skip that part. But let's take Shaw and Seven.
There's kind of a yin yang thing going on with them, and I feel like there's like Shaw is definitely starting to respect 7 of 9, even though he still insists on calling her Commander Hansen.
I think though he might eventually figure that one out, because she did straight out correct him.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, she's like, my name is 7 of 9. Okay.
Ooh. Progressive talking point. The woke. It's the woke. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the woke talk point of the entire episode. Oh my god. Yeah. And it's fine. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's good. It needed to happen. It was a good play off each other, you know?
Because they're starting to operate less as captain and first officer, where she just has to be the meek first officer and not constantly. I don't know how she managed to stay first officer as long as she did, because let's be honest, Riker and Picard walk on, and she pretty much just says, I'm just going to start ignoring it. I'm just going to start doing shit.
Yeah. It's just like, what the hell, dude? But still, again, a very good dichotomy playing between the two characters. You see, like, I mean, from episode 1, it was easy to hate Shaw because he was Captain
We still kind of think he's an asshole and hate him, but we also love the character. He's great.
Yeah, I would actually, to be honest with you, if they wanted to bring him back for like a spin-off series, or at least have him appear in some other 25th century Star Trek series,
make him an admiral.
Ooh, oh man, yeah. No, I think that's kind of that's just yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, the dude's got an acerbic wit, so it's just good stuff when he talks. Like when he opens his mouth now, you're just like,
it's gonna be funny.
Dude.
We're gonna hate his guts for it, but it's gonna be glorious.
Mm.
So here's a question I have: does Chateau Picard actually suck? Because we keep having everybody shit on Picard's wine.
Mm. And here's the thing, actually. There's a scene in the episode where Picard and Beverly and crew make it down to where Geordi is with Data and whatnot, and they have this whole scene of like, they pull out their phasers and kind of do the like this scene at each other, and Geordi demands Geordi asks a question of Picard, demands he answer him because it's something only Picard would know, and it was something about, what did you bring to my what was it? Was it an anniversary, or was it a honeymoon, like a reception on Risa or something like that? Either way, he brought it to this gathering on Risa for Geordi, and Geordi didn't like it. He said it was too dry because his own tastes in wine were too pedestrian. And I thought to myself, that's a really good compliment, because it's like, I don't like it because my taste in wine is stupid. I don't have the sophisticated palate for dry wines. Just like yours truly, I cannot stand dry wines.
That's what Picard said, because, that's what Geordi said, because, of course, Picard said that Geordi said that because everybody hates Chateau Picard, so apparently it sucks.
Yeah, on TikTok, there's a guy who goes off by the handle Star Trek Guy, and for First Contact Day, he actually cracked a bottle of Chateau Picard, and I'm just thinking, oh dude, I hope you like dry wine, man, because I think it was a Cabernet Sauvignon, and I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Look, I can't do dry wines. So if Chateau Picard branded wines are dry wines, I will never drink them, even just try them. I like, my palate is way too pedestrian is the word being used.
Mine isn't, but Chateau Picard probably still sucks.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, look, I still remember a time where I had wine with the cast of The Last Samurai, and a friend of mine shoves a glass of wine in my hand, says, "Here you go." I take a sip of it, and I swear I was chewing on wood. Like, it was the oakiest, woodiest wine I've ever tasted in my life. Like, no thanks.
Was it Chateau Picard?
No, but it could have been. No,
Possibly. Okay, so let's get to the more serious ones, and that's the 3 acting beats we got to cover. First, Riker and Troy.
Yeah.
That was absolutely wonderful. Them sharing screen time and really working through scenes together. Not season 1 where they're kind of playing couple on... They're kind of couple on whatever the planet they hate. They're... where you get a little bit of interplay with them, but mostly it's them interacting with Picard and the others. But this time, it's just them bouncing off each other, feeding. Troy starts by pointing out Riker's beard's gone from brown to gray to blood red. And
whoops.
He points out he can still take a punch. Then they get into the grief over their son's death, and how Will kind of ran away and things like that. The second half of that scene, we find out Deanna was actually trying to suppress his pain to help him, which is basically the exact opposite of what she's trained to do.
And she makes the comment.
Because her problem is she could feel everybody's grief, not just her own.
Right. And of course, she makes the comment that she broke the cardinal rule in counseling. You can't skip to the end, or can't skip to the end of healing. And I think that's what she was trying to do.
Fuck your patient. That too? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Either way, yeah. So then it's from there they get to the bit where they start talking about their house on the planet and how they don't really like it. They want to go back and do frappuccino lattes and be around people. And it struck me as this is them coming to terms with that they've been in mourning and in grief for a long time, and they're finally emerging, and somehow they're still together, which is an awesome thing.
It is good. It's a much more realistic and believable situation, especially for people who lose a child. Although it is a 180 spin from the feel good drop in, hey, let's bring the band back together sort of moment from like sort of the middle of season 1 of Picard, where Picard goes to look for help and he shows up and has pizza with the Rikers, Like almost like you could totally take scenes from that entire episode and like intercut it with the opening titles to like Family Matters or something, like when Riker ruins a pizza. Oh, did I do that? It's like, oh my goodness. Like, holy shit. But no, again, it's...
Except Spiner comes in and does that voice. Speaking of Spiner, we get Spiner and Spiner back and forthing on himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brent Spiner is a phenomenal method actor. So him being able to, I guess, talk with himself and be able to show both, like, two different distinct sides of his personality.
And then a third one, which is the blended one. So we actually had 3 characters here. We had Lore, we had Data, and then we had Data Lore, which is mainly Data with everything fully incorporated, and he's the new person. And yeah, just everything that Brent Spiner did in this episode. Yeah, the last episode when he was bouncing between characters, that was cool, but it was a prelude to what we got to see here, which is Data slowly seeing everything pulled apart, but really he's slow playing as Lore just gloats incessantly.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this was a very, very touching and heartwarming scene to play out because, we've always seen Lore as this, like, one-dimensional, I'm bad, I do bad things kind of thing.
And he mostly did that. But
the thing is, one thing that you see in Data that you've never really seen before is empathy. He has empathy for what Lore has gone through. Instead of saying, oh, you're bad, I have to do something about you, it's here, I'm going to give everything I have that I treasure to you because I have had everything and you've had nothing. I mean, of course,
Lore has gotten shat on the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of a little bit evil, so he got put in a box. They took him out. And he's kind of evil, so they beamed him into space.
I just had this whole thought in my head of Frau Farbizna from Boston Powers. First you were in a box, then you were in space. Oh my God!
Way,
if Vern Troyer was still alive, they could have made it like a mini me Data.
That would have been awesome.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. All right. I'm good. I'm good. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, and him coming together with everybody of the original crew, except for Tasha Yar, who died, and poor Wesley, who got forgotten.
Who?
Sad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I do want to be very serious about how important and how prolific these scenes are, especially, these actors who had worked together for so many years and have been part of pop culture for a good portion of our lives. But I just kept thinking about, like, what if, like, instead of Data giving giving lore like the little hologram of Tasha Yar. You know, what if he'd given him like, I don't know, something from the clothes she was wearing when she seduces him, or gives him like a little hologram.
Here's a chip. Put this in. Watch this. Wow, you are fully functional.
Whoa,
in multiple
dude.
techniques.
Wow, you do have everything. He looks down, and I have nothing. Or what if he gave him instead of Yar like a hologram of Armus? I can't. Okay. Anyways, onwards. Sorry.
So let's get to the third person, and we have to give the round of applause to Amanda Plummer. She has made her exit as Vatic exploded because of the fucking solids.
Oh, hey, and just in case you guys haven't figured it out, if you haven't watched this already, this episode has lots of spoilers.
Yeah. This doesn't drop till over a day after. If you haven't figured that out, yeah, spoilers.
That could be instead of sliders, spoilers. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Amanda Plummer, man, just again, she's got that delightful craziness to her. I mean, like, she is batshit crazy, but in such a wonderful, sublime way.
Yeah. And then she does an interview and she's like the nicest person.
Yeah.
She's like super nice. Then she plays these psychotic characters. And she infused Vatic with I'm just walking around the bridge and I'm going to do what I want.
Boosh.
There's the Vulcan bitch dead.
Yep, when she kills Tavine, almost like, okay, so of course anybody who is familiar with Star Trek knows that this is a callback to the scene in Star Trek 3 when what was his name? Damn.
David?
No, Christopher Lloyd's character.
Yeah. Not the one that appeared in the latest episode of Mando, but
no, of course. Anyways,
the Klingon dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Klingon Christopher Lloyd, we'll just call it.
Yeah, when he instructs his crewmen to kill one of the survivors, he doesn't care which one, and yeah, I mean, it's like, okay.
I would actually go. This is more Walking Dead. The first scene where Negan appears, where he's basically stalking around and just taunting, and then finally he takes Lucille and beats somebody to death. That's pretty much what we had, except a little more Star Trek-y and a little less. But you didn't know who was going to die.
No, actually, and I really thought the one. Yeah, I really thought she was going to go with the one. You know, she's got her phaser trained on her back of her head, and then of course
boom,
psych pop.
It's that tension and release in slight horror, or more horror. But yeah, that's what that scene reminded me of. Is I got that visual because it's the building anticipation.
Let me ask you a question.
David went down fighting.
Yeah.
This was just execution.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I could see how it's more Walking Dead than it is Star Trek 3, but it kind of calls back to the similar thing.
To be fair, I wanted one of the Starfleet personnel to look up at Vatic and say, "Suck my nuts." That would have been awesome.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Let me give you an answer.
When Vatic was blown out into space, and you see her basically freezing solid because of the vacuum of space, did you think for a second that maybe she would survive that in some way, shape, or form? And when you saw the Shrike, that maybe the ship was gonna pull her in and somehow reanimate her, and then suddenly I thought
she was dead when she flew towards the ship. It's like, oh shit, this is gonna be fun.
And then
boom! Oh yeah,
yeah. She turns into like rock candy. Wonder what flavor that was. She's exploded. But still, even to the very end, I'm not a big fan of the swearing in Star Trek, and not just because it's Star Trek, but it's more because it just feels forced. Like
this did not feel forced.
And then
this is exactly how you want to drop an F-bomb.
Yeah, and she's like fucking solids, and then she's blown out into space like bye bye.
It was a glorious exit, and we're gonna miss her being the bad guy. Which brings us to the last 2 episodes, because she's not gonna be in them. The Shrike's not gonna be in them. It's gonna be Picard and company trying to figure out how to stop whatever the changes you have for Frontier Day, and we still don't know what the actual shit Mystery Box Jack's all about.
Yeah, I mean, and the
we know he can mind control people, and there's a darkness, and there's a door and a doorknob.
You know, a doorknob,
not
unlike the one
the fun kind we've encountered in Star Trek before.
Yeah,
we're not going any further on that shit. Thank you very much.
No. That's only for my therapist. Thank you very much.
Anyway,
but yeah, so we have so you do. I mean, like, we have to figure out, we have to find out more about the big bad evil guy.
We know it's changelings.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, like, why would Vadic have to, like, give part of her body to animate conversation? Was it just for effect, or is there some part of it? Like, I mean, is the big bad is it
somebody
non-corporeal,
posited that this was actually in her head with doing this and not actual in reality?
Oh, I don't know. You think maybe it's kind of find out that she was just imagining it, and she was really it was just about her revenge plot?
No, she was talking to somebody, but it was all mental.
Oh,
but we're not going to find out because she's dead, and she didn't spill the beans on Mystery Box Jack either.
Yeah, fair enough.
All we know is that he is the critical component to messing with Frontier Day, which is only hours away, and it's been only hours away for a few episodes now.
I wonder if there's gonna be like a cameo by Bill and Ted, going to Frontierland for Frontier Day. Sorry, that was terrible. Terrible.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was successful with the Bill and Ted joke because yesterday when we were playing D&D, because my party got something from our Moon song, which of course referenced Bill and Ted.
Of course,
because of course I did.
Of course you did. So obviously this has got to play out in the last 2 episodes. We're gonna find out the BBEG. We're gonna find out what the plan is for Frontier Day. The
Mystery Box Jack is going to be revealed over the entire next episode, and they're going to drag it out as long as they can and figure out the plan, and then we're going to have a mad scramble to finish, and then a rushed ending. Or they'll solve or maybe we'll get lucky. They'll solve things in the second last episode, and the last episode will just be the extended reunion tour, and Wesley will show up. Probably not.
You mean Jack's half-brother?
Yes.
Who? Mr. Rocks Jack. Oh, so it's you.
On a side note, I will say that even with the characters that didn't get really much attention at all, they managed to get little things for everybody to do.
Yeah.
They give them little bits and pieces and scenes, and you get a slight investment in every character. That every named character got a little something.
That's the one big point I want to take away from this in last season of Picard. Okay, so my biggest criticism across all the quote-unquote new Trek, with the obvious exceptions of like Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Strange New Worlds, the issue
Discovery, and most of Picard.
Yeah. They like almost expect you to invest yourself in these characters. Like, you love these characters because they're on Star Trek. No. You love these characters because they're on Star Trek. No, I don't think you heard me right. I said, no, I don't. No, you don't understand. They're on Star Trek. You love these characters. And like, I agree to disagree. However, this season of Picard actually do love the characters. I mean, there isn't a character that I really haven't liked.
Except Shaw, who we hate, but we love hating him.
Yes, well, that's a different story.
And same with Vadic.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bad guy, you're supposed to not like them for your hero's sake, but if they're the worse they are, the better.
The thing about Vadic though is you knew like right from the very beginning that she was the bad guy. Like, there was something going on. Like, she's got some beef. Okay. But it wasn't like the lore conundrum where you have this very two-dimensional character that it's I gotta do bad things because I'm a bad person type of deal, and it's not, because initially you're trying to figure out what the fuck is her thing, man. What's her groove, and eventually we do find out that she is the way she is because of what happened to her. So you can, at the very least, sympathize with her, if not empathize.
And all of her actions are to achieve her goal. I mean, she storms the Titan and shoots people and terrorizes people, not because she's just trying to kill people because she's the bad guy, but because her goal is to get Jack, and that's where Jack is, and they're protecting him. So they're an obstacle to what she needs to do. Whereas Lore, when his first appearance, while you still understood his, I kind of got abandoned and Data got everything, the whole thing there was, he was just, I'm Lore, now I'm going to twirl my mustache.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
I have a beard because I'm Evil Bender. Yeah. Oh, wait.
Wait a minute. I thought Bender was Evil Bender. Wasn't it Flexo had the
Yeah, it was Flexo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, Bender's evil twin.
Evil twin, like that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens when we play out the last two episodes. So we will, of course, we will do spoilerific reviews of the last two episodes, and then we're going to finish out this season of Treknicity with a wrap-up largely of the third season, but also the entire series, and kind of see how the parts fit together.
Yep. Because, there's a lot to look at here. Because, I mean, the great thing is every character got better as we went along. Even, although they got rid of, though if you notice, they got rid of, I think everybody but Raffi pretty much got disappeared by the end of season 2. So Raffi's the only carryover from, other than Picard, obviously, Raffi's the only other character that really carried through season 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rios, Girardi, Eleanor, all they pieced out after second season.
Although I just realized something. One character that carried through to season 3, but got left at Chateau Picard, I think she's going to show up in Frontier Day. I'm drawing blank on her name, but
come on.
I don't have it. I have no idea, but Laris? Laris, yeah. She is going to show up at Frontier Day, I think.
And that is a prediction to be found out.
That's my prediction.
Because everything gets better except for bottles of Chateau Picard.
Because Chateau Picard tastes like dicks. Dirty dicks.
Speaking of dirty dicks. I'm sorry, I'm doing it. That's all the time we have for this episode of Treknicity. Thank you for joining us here for this spoiled review of Star Trek Picard. Be sure to check us out on all of our wonderful socials listed below, and also visit on our YouTube channel at redshirtgeeks.tv, where you can look back at the last 9 years of content. I am Lars.
And I'm Patrick, and I know how quickly to get my headphones on so I hear the cue.
That's right, damn it.
Yes.
And remember to go boldly and to rock out, which is Spock out. We will see you next week.